Now the actual problem, okay, of the entire thing.
Yeah.
A massive target. You know why I'm so paranoid of motherfuckers who spy around?
Why?
That guy. Trey, I believe his last name is Romano. Trey Romano. Something like that. This motherfucker was a spy. He was everywhere. At every time. On everything that we did, to the point where we had to trust him.
Okay.
Anyways. Trey. Fantastic spy. So good that, you know, like I said, he saw a lot of things that we didn't want to be leaked or told, so instead of essentially icing the guy in fear that he would live, we just kind of kept him around. Trey, also a very smart man, in very similar ways that, in very similar ways of how Gigi thinks, okay? And he essentially carved himself out of, you know, a piece of power through all this, from the Sanguine Islands and all this shit. He pretty much placed himself as a right-hand man, very cleverly too, for a man who probably should have died, you know, a month into this shit, if not a week. Survived and attained a lot of power in doing so. Ever since this guy is where the paranoia. I mean, I've always been paranoid, but the paranoia of the way Gigi, for example, you know, operates. Fucking right place, right time. Fucking always gathering intel. Doesn't matter on who, what, which. Doesn't matter if a hot dog looks weird, she's gonna fucking try to find out why. Them two potentially knowing each other and now living together in Edgar's house, along with the other fucking guild members, including Eve. Did I put her on the list?
No, the reason she
not.
came up after was because she owned the old house that blew up.
So, deal with Eve, okay? She was essentially the CEO of Cerberus. She was mine, Leslie's, and Dean Watson's, you know, sort of protege. We kind of built her up to be the face of the company, because we always knew we were going to be doing, you know, sketchy shit, whatever. Throughout the history of that, it came to a point where Eve essentially had to choose between the company and the guild. She chose, obviously, the company. So her having a relationship with the guild, it's not like a shocking fact, but it's interesting that they're all together again. And that guy being around is very fucking bad. And it makes me paranoid on even trusting Edgar. Because if he has an inkling in anything, he's going to use it to his advantage. And if Edgar is aware of that, he's going to use that to his advantage. And the truth be told is, he could probably get all the information that I won't tell him from that guy. If he really wanted. Because God knows what he actually knows. And what my son has told him. Now, obviously this fucking orb shit, I don't really give a fuck, you know, much of a fuck about it. I more so give a fuck about what they are plotting. I mean, they all being around, and now Trey being around is fucking crazy. I never thought this guy would come back into the city. So maybe they're working on something important. Maybe something so important that it drew him back, you know?
Okay, so the guild in Eve's house combined with Delver. I guess he is guild, right?
Yeah, he is guild, yeah.
Were spying on the Faceless through an orb and heard about Edgar and Skipper and God knows what else. And then the house blew up. Edgar got them a new house. The guild moved into it. Trey pulled Edgar aside and said, I know what this is really about. I know that you want the orb, and I'm willing to try and get it for you. I'm willing to try and help you. Which means Trey is
You
making
guys
a
are just
play
gonna
at getting
chill, man.
Edgar on
Fucking
his
Christ.
side. Which means everything that you're worried about in regards to Edgar and Trey will likely come true.
Yeah, and you also gotta understand that, but the truth of it is, Trey, Jaeger, Bjorn, Lando, Stag, Layla, fucking Glorion, the list goes on. These guys, I mean, they know of this place. They know of this place. They could probably assume that I'm here right now if they really wanted. There's a lot of secrets they don't know. But the reality is, like I said, if Edgar was smart enough to use them, he would get the information that he wants from me probably a lot easier. So we also have to be a little aware of that, and be willing to do what I just did there, in order to kind of hopefully reel him in a bit more. Because the information that I'm giving him really isn't it's not putting us in any sort of danger that we're not going to find either way. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. The more this progresses, and if we assume there's a world where these guys aren't even fucking remotely involved, and this is just coincidence, sure. But if we assume these guys are involved and they're doing whatever the fuck they may be doing, I mean, it's only accelerating how fast I might have to start going after these guys. And I mean, all of them.
Like, what do you think the risk is that they impose against us? Like, what actions would they take specifically, you know?
Well, last I heard or seen of Lando, he was screaming to the skies everything about Talon to anybody that would listen. Now, it's been years since, and maybe that fucking nut job has calmed down, but the reality is the last sort of, how do I word it? The tail end of our relationship, they were willing to expose everything and go to war for it. Obviously, it's been time. Things has happened since then. I've I guess rekindled a bit of my relationship with my son during Survivor. That would be on. But who really knows? And it's just to show the lengths these guys will go if things don't pan out for them, whichever which way. But there's also maybe a chance that they're not even involved, and it's just fucking coincidence. Although I don't think that's the case, it's maybe that is. I don't know.
Well, even if they're not involved in like all this shit, it doesn't change the fact that they're a threat to.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I used that's why I kind of intentionally used the word, accelerate, because regardless, this will need to be taken care of one day.
Okay, so we have the Faceless.
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting. We're trying to bring down the entire city, and have actively stolen from us.
Yeah.
And then we have the guild, who know information and might hold certain resentments that would cause them to leak this information that puts this place at risk. And then we have Edgar, who is tied to not one but both of these parties, who is the most unpredictable, easily flipped, selfish person ever.
Yep.
And then we have Gigi somewhere in the mix of all this, where we don't know where her head's at. But has connections to Edgar, the guild, us, and who knows about the facelift.
Yep.